weird. This is really bizarre.
And then what if I did this to you as well? Keep doing it.
Okay. There's still the delay, and that's just throwing off my sense of timing completely. This really does something to your sense of reality. Yeah. Okay, I'm taking these things off. Again, for you, the viewing audience, if you haven't...
Universe.
It's like a big gaping shortcut in time and space.
Right. We had the budget for that.
Well, see, that's the thing. Being a mad scientist, I can
Pull some strings.
I can take a couple of little what is to other people little transistor radios,
Right.
and totally upset their reality.
I always did wonder how mad scientists managed to afford their death rays anyway.
And explain something very important to us into this microphone.
I hear a time delay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that
I
kind
feel
of freaky?
drunk talking with the headphones
We're already
on.
experimenting with time.
I'm
Yeah,
sober.
it's really
I'm drunk.
It's really
Sober.
disorienting, isn't it?
It is, and it's like when I call somebody on my cell phone and you get a bad connection. Don't those suck? And then you they're still talking.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
And you say something, and
you're like stepping on what they're saying.
right, and they stop. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
I was going to say yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to agree. Here, I wish this could hear.
Well, anyway, as you see.
I forgot to comb my hair. I didn't realize I was going to be here on time.
Well, I'm just so glad you showed up at all.
Yes.
I am, You know I'm happy that you're here.
Wow, I can hear the echo. So, wormhole. We got new gear coming in, new cameras. What?
We do. We have new cameras coming in, but we have other special stuff coming in, and then what with the mad scientist touch and creating the proper kind of loops and stuff like that. We're gonna expand our use of time and be able to project. Then actually, we're gonna hook it up so that this entire room can be launched. Future-wise.
Okay, now here's the
Stuff like
question: if we launch the contents of this room into the future,
You in it?
is there any way to get it back to the
yeah.
present?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And back.
Because I'm wondering if we launch ourselves into the future and suddenly the future becomes the present, then what was the present is now the past. And
See, it really doesn't matter because when you get there, it's all the same place.
Especially if you're single.
Right? Or
if you're in a relationship you want out of.
As Janis Joplin said, it's all the same bleep day.
Yeah.
It's all the same day.
So tell us about your audio class. Let me just say real quick before you do. I was thinking of doing an audio class, and then I saw you were doing an audio class.
Oh.
So I don't want you, I want you to govern yourself accordingly because I might steal from you.
Were you going to do a class called Audio for Video?
I didn't get that far. Names are usually the last thing for me.
Well, this is one of my students.
Right.
Okay.
So I would recommend that at this point that you quiz him about the audio class. He probably knows more about it than I do.
Okay. I did quiz Jonathan.
Did you?
Yeah.
He sat in for parts of it.
Yeah.
What did Jonathan say?
He was really excited about it, and he said that. I asked him. I said, "Did you learn more technical stuff, or did you learn more like how to?" And he said both. And he said that you were going to bring in a drum set next week.
Hopefully, we won't. Would you like to be part?
I don't have a drum set to bring in.
Do you have hand drums? What kind of hippie are you?
You would need more than one. Because he was talking about the figure 8 microphone.
You got a guitar, don't you?
I do.
You can play it and sing at the same time. Can you play and sing at the same time?
Sometimes, yes.
That's a start.
That's a start. What time are your classes? When's your class?
4 to 6.
4 to 6 on Saturday.
On Saturday. Oh, okay.
Saturday 4 to 6.
4 to 6.
How about jamming? Can you jam? Like for instance, if we found another musician that could come in, would you be able to
jam?
Work with them? For instance, Jen got her hands on Joe's little keyboard. And look at how odd our picture looks.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It does, doesn't it? It looks sort of brown, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it's very dark, and I'm slouching, and my shirt matches the wall.
Do you know how to like white balance those things or something? Make it back the
yeah,
right color?
you just push some buttons until you see a little
I,
light bulb.
I pushed like AE.
Uh-huh.
No, I
I
pushed
think
A.
that's it, yeah.
I pushed A. Yeah.
Audio
A,
engineering.
Wow.
A something. But anyway, it didn't help.
Shirt I'm wearing is so thin that the tattoo on my arm is showing up on the monitor
And here
there.
too, you got tattoos here on your arm.
Yes, I do.
I can see them. I can't tell what they
Somehow
are.
I didn't figure that the camera would be picking them up. Well, here, I'll
Can't
show it
tell.
off.
Oh,
even
that's
if
a
they-
good one. We like that one. That's a
Yeah,
very good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's tattoo, and I'm not a fan of tattoos. You know, but that's a
And
good
I don't know if we can get it high enough for the
Oh, it's
other
a
one.
TV.
Yes.
But the screen is blank, and you can just draw things
Well,
in there.
no.
That's-
The green smiley face is a
Is in there.
tattoo.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Tattoos on my arms.
Could you
here.
would you have that changed just for me into a circle A?
It's a little bit
TV.
too late now. Okay.
You know what you could
There's
do?
this one
put
here.
a green screen,
In a
and then
red.
get a red marker,
Right.
and then do the circle A.
Well,
And then
you
can
know
take
what?
A picture
I-
of it, and that could be your.
Okay. You know what else we
Okay.
I knew a girl that had a heart on her arm and
Logo.
and a blank. She had like an arrow through it and a line, and it was but the name was not filled in, and she would take a Sharpie and fill in the name.
Nice.
And then next week she could put a different name.
Wow.
Well, that's
And
handy.
you couldn't tell it wasn't the tattoo.
As long as it was a Sharpie, because the Sharpie would last at least a week.
Right, and it really and a
If it was
Sharpie
like
looks
a
Sharpie
paper
looks
mate.
like a tattoo.
Right.
You know, it's hard to tell a Sharpie from a tattoo. It
If it
really
was like a
is.
dry erase marker, I'd be a little concerned.
Yeah.
There's actually an interesting story behind this tattoo. 'Cause
Okay.
This is theoretically two different tattoos.
Well, yeah.
The green smiley face, which you can't really see it here,
Was
but
first?
the green smiley face was first.
Right. But you wouldn't think
this
that.
was when I was living in Connecticut many years ago.
You
And
woke up with a green smiley face.
no, I was up really late, and my roommate at the time had a friend that he knew from art school who was kind of an underground tattoo artist. Now I say underground because at the time tattooing was illegal in Massachusetts because of an old blue law. And he lived in
Let me know if you got both
Massachusetts.
channels.
Yeah, there was both channels.
So he would go to
What's
people's
a blue law?
apartment,
Is there,
like old Puritan, basically a
Okay.
Puritan remnant law.
Okay.
And due to this said Puritan remnant law, tattooing was illegal in Massachusetts. Apparently, that has since changed since I have moved
Terry.
to Asheville. But at the time,
Terry
he would go
is
to-
in the building.
Indeed. At the time, he would go to people's apartments and
But
tattoo
not when
them
you're
there
viewing
in
this.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, because this is not
So
live.
isn't this a fun fact?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Get back to
And-
Massachusetts.
So-
Yes.
Okay, you couldn't get
I'm
a
sorry.
tattoo.
So people could make money just going to people's apartments, get tattooing them there.
Right. Uh-huh.
And this guy did that, and he was just literally passing through and figured he'd stop in 2 o'clock in the morning, and so there he is, boom, 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 knocking on the door.
Thought it was the
and
cops.
no, just open it up. There's Noah. I'm like, Noah, what's up? He's like, not much. He's just gonna say hi to my roommate who's asleep. But I said, hey, you got your tattoo stuff in the car? He's like, you bet I do. I was like, bring it on up. And I confess, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was not sober, straight, whatever phrase you want to apply to it.
Did
I
you
was
wash
kind of-
all the glass
Yes.
shards out? Okay.
Yes, I did. I think of these things. I was in several states of, I suppose you want to define it as intoxication at the time. So at the time, a green smiley face really seemed like a cool idea.
Oh, I'm sorry, I ruined it.
You did.
There, wait a minute. I got it going doing something again.
How do you have the 7-second delay or whatever? Is that built in with that little board?
No.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
smiling.
this is
Just
equipment.
sit that down there.
It's external to the board. This is part of our time. This is part of our time thing. This is
the wormhole.
this is part of our early time experiments. Where it's
Okay.
only on the audio currently.
So I can hear 7 seconds into the
It's not.
past.
It's not even 7 seconds.
Okay.
It's not even. It's what maybe a partial second.
Uh-huh.
It's not even like 1,001. How long is it? Put it on. Is it as long as 1,000?
Yeah.
1?
One,
One,
two,
one,
three.
one, one, one,
Here, let's
one,
see if
one,
I
one,
can
one.
do it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Right. Right.
But it's enough to throw you off, right?
Right. Right.
yeah, I'm kind of,
Okay, now that's not much variation in time.
no.
However, if we multiply that,
Uh-huh. A wormhole.
we have our time.
And then if we put it 180 degrees out of phase, we go into the future.
No, we go into what is negative matter, antimatter.
Okay.
Okay, we go into negative space. We can do that.
Wouldn't we explode then? Because when matter and antimatter come to contact,
we go into the future.
catastrophic.
We go into the future, but we can look behind us,
Right.
and we can watch just as we can watch the event horizon.
Right.
We can watch history fall away behind us.
Mm-hmm. What if?
Easy with that. Easy with that. That's involved.
Or, I get your attention more when I'm holding this. What if?
Oh, you don't know what you're messing
What
with, dude.
if we go into the future and it turns out like everybody that just kind of vanished is there, and it really isn't difficult to get to the future, just you can't come back.
So chances we'll have to take. This is the chances we'll have to
Who
take.
all-
You may not want to be part of it.
Albert Hoffman, Jimmy Hoffa might be there. Who else has just disappeared? Glenn Miller might be there. The guy that wrote The Little Prince, he would be
Did
there.
Glenn Miller just disappear?
You didn't know Glenn Miller?
The band leader.
Yeah.
He just disappeared?
His plane went down,
Oh, okay.
and they never found it. Did they ever find it?
No.
Over the ocean somewhere.
Right.
Oh, okay.
The English Channel, actually. I believe it was.
I heard
Ocean.
that was a rumor.
They think some people think he accidentally got shot down by American forces.
I have music.
Kind
And I
of.
thought I'd turn that off.
What I heard was,
There's music.
well, we don't want to get too controversial on the air.
Stop.
But
Oh,
since,
please.
But since we're taping this, it's not live. I guess it's okay.
It's not live.
So,
It's going to be running the same time slot, though, so no screaming all sorts of naughtiness,
Yes.
but you already know that.
but I went to a bookstore once, and I was buying The Little Prince, and the guy said, "Did you ever hear about how this author just vanished? He kind of like in the book, I don't know if he was flying over the Sahara Desert, but he took one of many flights and just never came back, and they never found his plane." I said, "Wow, that's really wild." And I said, "I'm listening to a lot of Glenn Miller, and he too, somebody just disappeared." He goes, "Well, actually, I was in the service. I was I was overseas in Europe at the time, and my captain was in charge of that situation, and the rumor was that he was caught in bed with another guy's wife. The guy comes in, who's an officer, immediately just shoots him. And so they create this story that there was bad weather and he wanted to go play this gig, and he was so determined to play for the troops that the band stayed behind, and he went ahead without the band, and they were going to catch up when the weather was better, and he was going to organize the show and just vanish." That's what I heard.
So what happened in that story? What would have happened to the guy that shot Glenn Miller in the head? Because somebody'd be like, "You just shot Glenn Miller in the head," and well,
I'm thinking
I
Glenn
would
Miller will
imagine-
be in the future when we go through the
I would imagine there are some people that would hold that against somebody.
And you've seen.
I mean, because you see how exalted celebrities are in our society.
Mhm.
I imagine that was the case back
You've-
then, not to the extreme that it is now, but
What
all the
if,
same.
what if that person was Benny Goodman or Frank Capra? They probably would have let him off.
I don't think
If that
they
other
were-
person was just as
far as I'm
famous.
aware, those guys were not military officers, though.
Frank Capra was.
Okay.
He did the Why We Fight series.
Okay, you've seen the chicken bunny.
I have not.
Religious.
That
it's
one
a
right there?
It's a religious thing. Catch it.
I'm all for letting it just run right off the edge myself.
That's the thing.
That is great.
Chicken bunny.
It's a religious icon, you're saying?
Religious item.
Yeah, that's. Where'd you get it?
Al brought it.
Oh, wow. I bet you buy this at one of those Christian bookstores?
Who knows where Al found it? Al found it and brought it.
And he made it a religious icon.
I see.
But no, he just recognized it as a religious icon. Yeah, to have some more tea too, if you care. Do you like the taste of this?
I do. I'm not finished.
Isn't this?
I'm gonna.
Isn't this your tea?
In fact,
Yes, I'm gonna.
You gonna run it off the table?
Don't run it off the table.
It's okay.
I think it was designed to handle such things. Go. Yes!
You know, kids could be watching this show.
Yes. Then they'll all
And-
be hollering yes at the same time.
Okay. Like, they're not more inherently destructive than me.
I don't think this has anything to do with Easter.
All right, leave it. That's good.
That's somehow very appropriate.
It is.
All right.
Very good.
So,
Okay, let's talk about the movie
We're
Videodrome,
having
because I haven't seen that in a while. Refresh my memory. Matt?
Well, Videodrome. Let's see.
I have seen. What is it with all of a sudden everybody's obsessed with Videodrome? I don't get
It
it.
was mentioned on this show.
I've heard it mentioned, and I've seen the movie Videodrome, and
I thought it was boring, but I was a kid. I haven't seen it recently.
you know, I don't see what the big deal is myself. I mean, it's kind of
How long has it been since you've seen it?
within probably the past 2 years. Last time I saw it.
Okay. Were you
So I remember
sober?
seeing.
Were you sober?
Is any editing stations open?
I don't remember.
Okay. Perhaps you should see it not under the influence of any substance, just. in
I
order-
probably was, because I've been much more sober.
Oh my God! It's gone.
You know what? I'm perfectly fine with that myself.
The
Can I say God on the air?
yeah. The
Just did.
That's right.
Are those
just did.
are those old record needles?
Yes, as a matter of fact, they are.
Wow. Is this for John's class tomorrow?
No, actually, I already mentioned this to John, but
We're going to.
we may as well just cover the subject again because I think it's an interesting one, and we can share this with our viewing audience
Yes,
who
I
is
think-
not seeing this live.
We're
It
going-
reminds me of a question.
We're
that
going to
John-
vaccinate people
with analog needles.
with record player needles.
Now let me ask this.
Haven't you ever heard someone who talks a lot? They say you must have been vaccinated with the phonograph
No,
needle.
I never heard that.
That's an old thing people used to say.
Okay, so here's the thing: is the first record player, as I understand, was like a big
Is it showing up on the screen?
conch shell.
As a silhouette.
Yes.
Pretty
bad
well.
lighting.
You're blocking me. So what I was saying, the first record player, I believe, was like a giant conch shell. It came down to a needle that was on like a shellac, and basically the sound waves would just get caught into the giant cone, and it would cause the needle to vibrate into the spinning disc, and that's how they created phonograph. Is that a little oversimplified?
Something like that, yes.
And then when they found they added electricity to that little needle, it gave it more amplification. I'm wondering, my question is, now that we have all this advanced tech